24/7, I'm Rachel Smith. President Joe Biden says NATO's military alliance remains more united than ever. The president is wrapping up his trip to Europe to demonstrate a united international coalition against Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Advocate Channel's Laura Aguirre has more.
The United States is committed to Finland, committed to NATO, and those commitments are rock solid.
A powerful message delivered on Russia's doorstep. President Joe Biden meeting with Nordic leaders in Finland, a country that shares more than 800 miles of border with Russia and is the newest member of NATO's growing alliance.
We'll defend every inch of NATO territory.
Not yet in NATO is Ukraine, but they're closer than ever. This week, the alliance agreed to streamline Ukraine's application process once the war with Russia ends.
Putin's already lost the war. Putin has a real problem.
NATO is also boosting Ukraine's finances and firepower with a substantial new aid package. Controversial cluster munitions from the U.S. arrived in that country Thursday.
You'll see that Ukraine makes significant progress on their offensive and that it generates a negotiated settlement.
Others are not yet convinced.
I don't think it's over, despite the fact that the administration has said that Putin's already lost. I'm not sure he accepts that.
With Sweden now on deck to join NATO and a wave of new military weaponry heading to Ukraine, the pressure won't ease on Russia anytime soon.
Will we stay committed to our course? This week, Finland, the United States, and our allies and partners said a resounding, loud yes.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The Secret Service is done investigating cocaine found at the White House on July 2nd and still doesn't know who left it. A small bag was left in a West Wing cubby. They say agents combed through surveillance video and visitors' logs to no avail. One source says the leading theory remains that a visitor left it over the busy holiday weekend. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris met with civil rights leaders and consumer protection experts this week to talk about the societal importance and impact of AI. Among those in attendance, the president of the AFL-CIO and the CEO of the Leadership Conference of Civil and Human Rights. Vice President Harris expressed concerns about AI being used to spread misinformation and suppress employment and privacy rights. Meantime, lawmakers are racing to regulate AI. They say the tech poses major threats to national security, the U.S. economy, and jobs. The Advocate Channel's Patrick Cornell explains.
Investing in AI. On Wednesday, Elon Musk announcing he's launching his own artificial intelligence company to focus on the rapidly evolving tech and possibly build a rival to ChatGPT.
You can't put genies like this back in bottles.
The announcement comes one day after the first ever classified Senate briefing on AI. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle agreeing artificial intelligence should be regulated.
These hearings are not about any one thing. It's to get all 100 members to a level where when we start to legislate, we can try to do it the best way possible.
But the big question is how? On Tuesday, the White House briefed lawmakers about the dangers from national security risks to threats to the U.S. economy and American jobs.
It's going to put some people out of work. It'll create new jobs, but it's going to eliminate some jobs, and it's going to have a real societal impact.
What's the validation of AI-related content? There's tremendous intellectual property concerns.
And while no clear plan emerged from that meeting, some lawmakers who spoke afterwards said Congress should consider adopting some sort of legislative safeguards to limit the fast-moving technology. But it's complicated.
All the issues AI will impact, national security may well be the most consequential in the wrong hands. But AI could also become one of the greatest tools we have for keeping America safe.
Even the creators of the technology are asking lawmakers for help. Back in May, the CEO of the company behind ChatGPT testified before Congress.
My name is Sam Altman.
And proposed creating a new federal agency to regulate AI. Since then, a bill has been reintroduced to do just that, but has not been voted on. For Consumer Watch, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Meanwhile, Vice President Harris made history again. On Wednesday, she matched the record for casting the most tie-breaking votes of any vice president in Senate history. The historic vote was procedural, a vote to advance the nomination of Kalpana Kodagal. Kodagal will now serve as a member of the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Vice President Harris now has 31 tie-breaking votes to match the record set by John C. Calhoun. Calhoun served as vice president to John Quincy Adams and Andrew Jackson from 1825 to 1832. The Justice Department is appealing the sentences of 8 Oath Keepers convicted in the connection with the January 6th attacks. The department wants a harsher punishment. The group was charged with seditious conspiracy and found guilty of planning the January 6th insurrection. They were sentenced to 18 years, which is less than 25 years, which was requested by the Department of Justice. Well, Kevin Spacey testified in London court that his sexual assault accuser was a, quote, intimate friend who he says stabbed him in the back. Spacey denies the allegations of 3 of his accusers, calling one of the accounts, quote, madness. He says the other allegations were either consensual sex or touching. 4 men in total have accused the 2-time Oscar winner of assaults ranging between the years of 2001 and 2013. Spacey has pleaded not guilty to 12 charges. Orlando police have now released body cam video showing the deadly shooting of 26-year-old Derek Diaz. It happened on July 3rd, just before 2 a.m. And we do want to warn you, the video you're about to see may be disturbing to some viewers. Diaz is seen sitting in his parked car when he is approached by several police officers. One officer questions Diaz, opens his door, and tells him to put his hands on the steering wheel. When Diaz reaches towards the center console, the officer fires a single shot, killing him. Investigators did not find a gun in the vehicle. The officer who shot Diaz is on administrative leave, and the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is currently investigating. In other news today, wild weather in the Midwest. There were 5 possible tornado sightings in Illinois on Wednesday. Powerful storms produced torrential rain, damaging winds, and several tornado warnings. First responders reported downed trees and power lines, and one warehouse was wrecked just west of Chicago's main O'Hare Airport. Now, the severe weather forced ground stops at both Chicago airports, Midway and O'Hare, but at O'Hare, travelers were told to shelter in place as the storms passed. This is video inside the airport at the time of the storms. Now, air traffic resumed a short time later, but it did cause massive delays, as you might expect. According to a new report, Black men diagnosed with melanoma are more likely to die from skin cancer than other racial groups. That research is published by the American Academy of Dermatology. Scientists at the University of Nebraska found that while 75% of white men survived the most deadly form of skin cancer, only 52% of Black men did. An early diagnosis was a major factor in individual patients' survival rates. Well, the FDA has approved the first over-the-counter birth control pill. Now, this oral contraception is called Opill, and it will be available without a prescription at drugstores, grocery stores, and online. The FDA says when used as directed, the daily pill is safe and is expected to be more effective than other non-prescription contraceptive methods. Well, most people in the U.S. don't know they can call, text, or send a chat message to 988 to reach a licensed counselor trained to de-escalate a mental health crisis. That is according to a new poll conducted by the National Alliance of Mental Illness. The Lifeline, formerly known as the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, changed last year to the 3-digit number 988. The poll found that more than 80% of U.S. adults were either unfamiliar with or had never heard of 988. The Black Lives Matter movement is turning 10 years old today. It has been 10 years since the man who fatally shot Trayvon Martin was acquitted in his death. Martin was gunned down by George Zimmerman in a gated community in Florida in 2012. Zimmerman was found not guilty of manslaughter. Sabrina Fulton, Martin's mother, has been invited to address a Black Lives Matter festival in Los Angeles, which will be held on Saturday. Well, thank you so much for being with us for AC 24/7. For more, go to theadvocatechannel.com and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. For The Advocate Channel, I'm Rachel Smith. Take care.